Hello, my name is Michaela Gower. This is my Module 5 Continuous Improvement video for AEP 858. Who are we? Roosevelt Elementary currently serves around 400 students according to the Kansas Building Report Card. The purpose of this video is to analyze our demographic information and some data we've collected in order to think about how we can kickstart this year on a positive note and think about the areas that we need to improve upon specifically. This information is coming from the Kansas Building Report Card again. So here for our gender, you can see here at Roosevelt, we currently have a female population greater than that of the state, and then our male population here is actually less than the state over here. Moving to race and ethnicity, you'll see here currently at Roosevelt we have a higher percentage of Caucasian students when we reference that to the state average. Moving on to economically disadvantaged, you'll see that we have a percentage of 54.99%, so almost 55% of our students are categorized as economically disadvantaged. And then you'll see that the state is actually less than that at 50.73%. So knowing that, we've got to think about the backgrounds that our students are coming from and how that's going to affect them when they come into the classroom each day, and what we can do to be able to maximize their opportunities here at Roosevelt and make it a positive experience, because again, coming to school should be the best part of our students' day, so we need to bring our best effort and just make sure we are there for them. Alright, and then moving on to students with disabilities, here at Roosevelt we have a percentage of 17.52% students with disabilities, and the state is at 14.15%. Looking next at our attendance, we have some encouraging data here. Looking most recently at 2016, you're going to see that here in the green our building is at 96.4%. The district was lower at 95.7%, and even lower was the state at 95%. So that's an encouraging factor for us, and hopefully we continue that as we go into this new school year. So again, the reason we're going through this demographic data is to really figure out who we are as a school, and then we are going to look at that next to some other data and think about how that all pieces together for our school here. So how do we do business here at Roosevelt? Well, we have our core values and belief, and our culture and climate that we have interweaved into Roosevelt. We've talked about our results from the Safe and Civil Schools survey and how we are going to set specific goals to improve upon that will really enhance our instruction and our environment here this year. So looking at where we're at now, you'll see here a comparison of some demographics between Roosevelt, O'Laughlin, and Lincoln, which are two other buildings in the district. And we can see that we have some numbers that are similar in some categories and some that are not. I'm going to be moving into some data regarding the STAR test and then the state assessment. So I really want to point out here down in the performance for the math and reading, you'll see that we have the level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we want most of our students to be in that level 3 and 4. Level 3 is going to be your on grade level, and then level 4 is above. So you can see that while we have some encouraging data here, there's always room for improvement when we compare that to some other schools, and we'll be looking more specifically at that data here, but this was just to give us a quick reference in comparison to other schools in our district, and this data will be available for you during our data discussions. Next, I'm going to continue with some data. This is going to be the STAR data for grade 5 reading as of the previous school year. So I want to take a look here where we have our below 25th, 25th to 49th, 50 to 74th, and then 75th and above. And we're talking about the percentile of students here. So obviously we're going to want our students to fall in the 50th to the 74th or the 75th to above. Obviously it would be great to have the largest number here, and it looks like we did there. And again, remember, this is just our grade 5 data from last year. And then we want to really minimize anything from the 25th to 49th or below 25th. So again, this is just a glimpse into some of the STAR data that you'll be looking at this year and analyzing with your teams. Over here we've got the grade equivalent distribution summary, and again, for 5th grade we don't want to see many numbers below that 5.0. Obviously we want to work as hard as we can to get there and above. Here I have the similar data for math. So we had reading here. Here is math, and this was also for grade 5. So keep in mind we're just looking at one grade level here. Again, we're looking at the percentile. We had some pretty encouraging results here. We want the most possible here in the 75th and above. We'd like to keep it within these two here, and we want to minimize what the numbers we're receiving there. And again, 5.0 or above is obviously what we're aiming for there. Okay, now I plan to get into some more specific data and areas of improvement. Where are we now with the ELA, English Language Arts Assessment? And this is going to be for all levels that are assessed, grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. So here we have some encouraging data, and then I'll get into some more specifics about areas we need to improve upon. So grade 3, you can see that we are actually above both the district and the state average there. Grade 4, we are also above there in ELA, our school being in the green, the district in the navy, and then in the light blue is the state. So that's encouraging. And then also in grade 5, we have exceeded both the district and the state there. This is basically a repeat of what we saw here on the previous page, just divided into levels here. And we will look again at this when we move to our math assessment. So I'm sure this looks familiar to many of you. The next page is where I'm really wanting you to see where we need to make our growth, or examples of where we need to make our growth. So this is the ELA assessment, and this is for grades 3, 4, and 5. You can see here on this key, purple is going to be exceeds, meets is the green, the light blue is below, and then if they didn't have enough or insufficient data, you see the yellow. Now thankfully I'm seeing mostly green here, but you can see there's areas where we're below in both grade 3 and grade 4, and then obviously it's great to see a lot of green, but we can always work to improve and get to that exceeds portion. But I love that we're seeing so many meets here, but obviously there are areas where we'll have to go in and look. Our literary text, our informational text, for example, and that'll be something that you'll discuss with your grade level team. How can we go about using strategies to improve informational text information for grade 3 students, for example. So all of this information will be accessible for you and your team to go and analyze and to make some changes for this coming year. Moving now to the mathematics assessment. Again, this is set up the same way with your grade 3, 4, and 5. Our school, Roosevelt, is in the green again. District is navy, and state is that light blue. So here in grade 3, you're seeing again some positive data with us being exceeding the district and the state, but again, we always got room for improvement. Here in grade 4, we were even with the district but above the state. In grade 5 here, this would be an example for an area we want to improve upon. We are above the state here, but just 1 point below the district there. So just always room for improvement. This is going to be a repeat again of that data. Here in grade 5, for example, You want the less students in level 1, obviously. So you can see there that at the state, an average was 38 students in level 2, whereas we had 54. Level 4, they had 12 and we only got 10 there. So just always some areas for improvement. Overall, we can see this is encouraging data, but the purpose is to improve each year and really take time to analyze this data with your team and talk about the strategies that you can utilize to improve. So again, this is going to give us a good glimpse here. This is the same data again, our math assessments for grade 3, 4, and 5. We're seeing a lot more of the below on this section, but really that's just an opportunity for us to say, hey, what areas were we marked below on, and how can we go about making instruction stronger for our students? Was there an area that we feel like we just need to go through and collaborate and work together as a team to come up with different lesson plans for our students? So you can see that this is one area for sure that you will want to analyze with your team. And this is just one example. Like I said, we use a variety of assessments. So I'm just pulling the information available from last year. We will be using a lot of different forms and types of data throughout the year. So obviously just one example that I'm showing you here today. So we exist, why do we exist? Our mission statement for USC 489 is to provide a quality learning experience for every child in every classroom every day. So we really need to take a look at our next step. The purpose of this is to help us utilize this information in our data dialogues. When you meet with your team for that designated time, we need to make sure that that is on-topic discussion and that we're really focusing on those areas of improvement. I've gone through and shown you some examples, but that's going to look different for all grade levels. For example, kindergarten is going to look a lot different than 5th grade. We can see that, but the overall process is that, or the overall idea is that we need to dedicate time to our data there. And we need to analyze what is working for our students and what is not. So I want to thank you for your time and all of your efforts, and I look forward to a great year working with you all. Thanks for watching.